In this video, I'll be reacting to 5 normal Dutch things that completely surprised this American. So let's go ahead and see what were her biggest culture shocks.
People eating a Dutch lunch. Now, this comes with a prop. This is a sandwich. Hi, welcome to Yovi's Home. I post new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Today, we are going to talk about 5 completely normal Dutch things that I found pretty surprising. So let's see. The first thing that I found quite shocking, surprising, it was different, is actually in public toilets. Okay. So in the United States and in Canada and in other countries that I've seen, when you go to a public toilet, they have like a little tissue, like a paper, I guess, that you can take and put it on top of the toilet seat, so there is like a barrier between the seat and your bottom if you're gonna sit on it. But in the Netherlands, that's not the case. There is no toilet seat liner. And if you're thinking, oh my goodness, how do you clean your seats? Well, every single stall inside the toilets has like a little what do you call it? Like a little metal spray thing attached to the wall, and you take your piece of toilet paper and you spray some of that antibacterial spray, and you can kind of clean along your toilet.
I've never seen this in the Netherlands. I don't know where she's seen it, but I must have not ever in my life gone to proper bathrooms or something, because I saw this in Asia. I'm actually there right now. I'm in Vietnam. But I saw it at the airports. But I don't think I've ever really seen it in the Netherlands, and I've been all over because I've lived there for 22 years. So yeah, that's really interesting to me. I didn't know that we even have that.
Seat. So you can sterilize it so it's clean. You can definitely use it if you want to sit on it or whatever, but yeah, I found that to be quite a surprise. Can you guys let me know, if you don't live in the Netherlands, if you live in another country, do you guys have that, or do you have the more traditional kind of paper liner? I'm really curious to know. Let me know. We're talking about toilets. We are just going there today. But that's the end of the toilet discussion. There's no more. All right. The next thing that I found really surprising, and I hope it's just not me being dumb, but I hope that this is an actual thing, is it occurs at the gas station. And that is that in the United States, when you go to the gas station, you hold the pump, and then there's like a little lever that you can click down so that you don't have to physically hold the handle of the pump and like actually squish, to pump the gas the whole time that you're pumping gas. So basically you can put the gas nozzle in, lift it up, click the little lever, and walk away. You can go whatever to the gas station, pay for something, get a snack, whatever.
But how do you walk away? Because does it just automatically stop then? Once, does it know when when it's full, or does it just keep flowing? Because if it keeps flowing, that seems kind of problematic. But yeah, I don't think we have this.
Or just hang out by your car, but you don't have to physically hold the handle the whole time. And in the Netherlands you do, I think, because no matter how much I've tried, and I literally try every time I pump gas, I cannot figure out how to get, if there is something, I don't know the mechanism to get it so I don't have to hold the gas handle the whole time. I found that really interesting and surprising, and I still can't figure it out. So if it's me that's just dumb, then let me know in the comments below. I know you don't hold back, but also don't just tell me that I'm dumb, but tell me how to fix it, because that's what I want to do.
Yeah, I don't think we have it, right? I'm not too experienced in that department, but I don't think we have that as an option. But let me know as well.
Yeah. Alongside that, let's just include this all in like a little group. I also found it surprising that in the Netherlands, you can pay for your gas after you've pumped it. You know, so you, in the United States, when you go to a gas station, you either pin at the machine, like, or at the gas pump itself. You know, there's like a little pin machine. Some gas stations here have it too. Or if you're gonna pay in cash, for example, then you go inside first. You tell them, I wanna put in $20, $30, $50, whatever amount of gas into my car. You pay for it, and then they do something on their computer, and then it allows you to pump exactly that much money at the pump where your car is standing. But you can't pump it before.
That's interesting. I think, yeah, I did see when I was in the US with my boyfriend and we were touring the country with a van. I think he paid like at the machine, and I think he did have to do it beforehand. And that was one of my culture shocks as well when I was there. Where I was like, wait, you do it before you pump the gas and you don't do it afterwards, because in the Netherlands you pump it in and then you go in and then you're like, okay, you're just gonna pay for what you put in there. But I think for him, for my boyfriend, that was also a culture shock for him when he got to the Netherlands. That was the other way around. And I think he said something like, how do you know that people will not just take off and not pay? And I guess, yeah, how do you know?
So to me, that's a symbol of trust. I know that there's cameras everywhere, and if you drive off without paying for your gas, they will come for you. I know that. But at the same time,
oh yeah, I forgot about cameras.
It communicates a level of trust, you know? That, yeah, you'll pump your gas and then you're gonna go in and pay for it. So I find that interesting. You guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 3 and number 4, they come with props. But before we get to that, have you clicked the like button already? How about subscribing? Did you do that already? I know a lot of people that watch my videos, they're not fully subscribed. Not fully, they're not subscribed at all. So please, do yourself a favor. Do me a favor. Subscribe. All right, moving on. Number 3. The number 3 thing that I found so surprising, and please, if you're an expat or if you're living, or if you're visiting, like if you have noticed this, please let me know in the comments. And that is grown people eating a Dutch lunch. Now, this comes
I felt like I knew where this was going when she said grown people.
with a prop. This is a sandwich. This is a typical Dutch sandwich, okay? You will notice that there is a slice of bread.
I feel like there's usually another slice of bread on it though. Or is that just everyone else I've seen it eating?
Okay, I didn't put the butter on, but usually it would have like maybe...
No. Something about me is I cannot do the butter with cheese thing. I'm not doing that. For me, there's like no reason to do that. I know my mom does it. And whenever we go to the Efteling, if you're not from the Netherlands, basically it's this theme park. It was a whole thing that we would bring lunch and they would make sandwiches or the buns. But yeah, they would make sandwiches and then have ham or cheese or something like that on butter. And I was like, something about that just really creeps me out. And it's just not for me. It's only when it's necessary. Like with hagelslag, yes, I'm putting butter because otherwise it'll just fall off. But for me, there's just no reason to do it with cheese. If you think otherwise, then of course let me know. If you have a good reason for this, maybe it makes it more creamy, but that's exactly what I don't like because I'm also not a big sauce person. So anyways, that was a whole side notion.
Some butter or something, and then one slice of cheese. And in my old job, so I'm just gonna use him as an example. My old boss, he was, more than 2 meters tall. He was like 6 foot something. He was a tall man, a big man. And he would eat 2 of these for his lunch every day. It would be one with a slice of cheese and then one with a slice of ham. And that was his lunch for a grown-up every day. That is a typical lunch. Sometimes you'll see Dutch people also, you might make it fancy by folding it. Whoop, there you go. And then eating your sandwich. People also, maybe you might have a slice of bread and you put some peanut butter on it or something, but typically they are not like an American sandwich, which Dan, can we insert a photo here for the Dutch people to know?
Yeah, that's more like what we call a club sandwich. If you go to like a restaurant and you order a sandwich, usually it's called something with club sandwich, and it will look like that. But for me, that's a lot to eat. But it's always really good.
What I'm talking about. And to see why this is such a drastic difference from what I think of when I think.
Yeah, it is really bland. If you see this comparison, to just have a slice of bread with this cheese. And I'm not the biggest fan of just bread, just like that. I like to dress it up more as well. But my mom, whenever my sister or my brother or I would say like, we don't want to take this sandwich to school or whatever, we're like, oh, we don't want bread, we want something else, because we all didn't really love to eat this. Just like, you know what we had to eat back in the day? This is all we got. It's just, yeah, I guess it's just so ingrained in the culture. But I do like to make something more interesting.
Of a sandwich. And also what is like something that a grown-up would eat. So my son basically eats the same as my 5-year-old son. So my 5-year-old son eats the same as my grown-up 2 meter tall former boss for lunch. They eat the same. I just found that surprising, okay? And this was his lunch every day. Every day my boss would have that. It's cool, I'm not judging, but it was a surprise, okay? It was a surprise. And it's totally normal. This is a normal Dutch thing to do, sandwich at lunch, and also something similar for breakfast. Moving on. The next thing, and I'm gonna say it as number 4, but it definitely goes hand in hand with number 3, and that is what people drink to go alongside their lunch. And that is very typically a glass of milk. So
I feel like for me, this is kind of outdated, though. I know we used to drink milk, but not with lunch. We used to drink it with dinner. We just have all like a glass of milk. But as we grew older, that kind of stopped. And I know my sister still likes to drink milk sometimes. But it's definitely not really a thing anymore for us, at least. Let me know if you're Dutch. Do you still do this? And do you know if this is still a ongoing thing, or if this was more something from the past?
Totally normal for Dutch grown-ups to, have their boterham met kaas and then to have milk. I
haven't really seen people do it at work or something either. I don't think so, no. I don't think they drank milk with lunch, but maybe for dinner.
Typically be regular milk or sometimes buttermilk, which in Dutch is karnemelk. So it's more like the little bit creamier, like buttermilk, karnemelk, you know what that is. But that's normal. So I don't remember seeing anywhere outside of the Netherlands anyone but children drinking milk like on a regular normal basis. So I adore dairy. I drink milk all the time, but I drink it in my coffee. So generally, if I would probably drink this much milk and then this much coffee. But yeah, I like it, but it's got to be mixed. I'm not going to sit here and just drink a cup of milk. But that is totally a typical thing that happens here that grown people have. They sell like little Tetra bricks or Tetra packs of milk, and you see people just taking that for lunch, and I find it so amusing. It was definitely surprising. I also remember when I gave birth and we were in the hospital and they served me breakfast of this and lunch of this, and I was like, please, I'm hungry. Like, I just had a baby. Can you give me something more? Like, I don't know how you Dutch do it.
Yeah, I understand if you just gave birth and maybe you're really hungry, and that seems kind of miserable if you just have to rely on the food they give you. Now, to be fair, I would be thankful that I even have some food to eat, but at the same time, I would also be like, oh, I wish I could just, well, maybe you can bring your own food as well, but I don't know.
Let me know. Is it just a matter of being used to it? It must be a matter of just being used to the combination of the food, that's just what you're used to eating, so you don't feel hungry. But definitely, if you're coming from outside the Netherlands and you're used to having something different, people can be a little bit hungrier. That's all I'm saying here. And I
think it's also maybe because we typically eat dinner earlier and we might have like a snack or something in between to deal with the hunger.
Number 5. So the last thing I wanted to mention that I found a bit surprising when I moved here is the early dinner time.
How did she know that I was saying something about that?
So in the Netherlands, it is completely normal that dinner time is at 6 o'clock. That is kind of like between 6 and 7, but like that's
actually for my family kind of late because my mom always wanted to have dinner at 5, which I found to be early because then you eat dinner at 5 and then at 8 you're just hungry again, and so that didn't really work out for me. But I think typically it's at 6, around there. I feel like 7 might even already be kind of late for Dutch people. But let me know what time you eat dinner at if you're Dutch.
A normal, totally appropriate time for dinner. I have become completely Dutch in this respect, okay? So I might even push it because I have 2 little kids, so we eat dinner at 5:30. But before I moved to the Netherlands, I was eating dinner like around 8:30 sometimes. My Spanish husband was eating dinner at 11 or 11:30. So anyway, the dinner time, it was surprising to us how early it is. It's not a comment on whether it's bad or good or anything. It was just, again, it's something that we noticed that happened earlier. And certainly when my Spanish parents-in-law are here visiting, or my Spanish sister-in-law, when they come to visit here, they often comment on how early restaurants close in the Netherlands. Or not necessarily the restaurant, but the kitchen will close at a certain time. So oftentimes they'll say, like, we don't serve dinner after 9:30 or 10. And that's just it. That's it. The kitchen's closed. So for them, that is a big surprise and something that maybe is not their favorite. But I think it's, it is what it is. When you're here, that's the dinner time. You eat when you eat, and that's it. It's also, I feel like Dutch people get an earlier start to their days, maybe. And so it makes sense, you eat at 7 a.m. at noon, and then at 6. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I would still get hungry, I think. If I would eat at 6, I'd say 6:30 or 7 would be ideal for me usually, depending on what time you sleep as well. But when I was in Valencia for my internship, I definitely ate later as well. Probably around 8:30-ish. And I felt like that worked pretty well for me. And then I went to sleep, around 11-ish or something, I think. 11:30. And that worked pretty well because I wasn't really hungry. I didn't really need many snacks after I ate dinner. So I feel like for me that was more efficient. But of course it depends on the person as well.
That surprised me. I would love to know what totally normal, like completely normal things surprised you when you moved to the Netherlands. And if you're Dutch, what normal things in other countries have surprised you when you've traveled abroad? I'm really interested in these cultural differences or these like norms that are just so ingrained in us when we are part of a certain country or when we live somewhere, and then that shocking feeling that it can lead to when you travel outside and then it's something like, but that's totally normal. I mean, like, it is totally normal to just drink milk as an adult. And I just find it really interesting to hear from you guys, your perspectives, to share with you mine, and surprises that we've found along the way.
Yeah, exactly. And I find that really interesting as well. So if you want to let me know in the comments what she was asking, then let me know as well.